She friendzoned me and said I was like her brother, so I stopped being the one she leaned on. Weeks later, when I finally started dating someone, she completely lost it, right as her affair with our friend's boyfriend got exposed and they were kicked out of the group. Hey Reddit! So, I caught feelings for a girl in my friend group, and she hit me with the full, "You're like a brother to me" speech. Cool. Message received. I stepped back, focused on my own life, and everything seemed fine, until she got exposed cheating with our friend's boyfriend. But let me start from the beginning. The six of us met in college during orientation week, when someone's brilliant idea of a floor bonding activity involved trust falls and name games, random roommate assignments, and a shared hatred for the dining hall's attempt at ethnic cuisine night turned into years of the kind of friendship people make movies about. Me, Malik, Carter, Sienna, Zara, and Bex. 3 guys, 3 girls, 0 drama. At least that's how it started. I was Dante, the guy who made things happen without being asked. Someone's car broke down 2 towns over at 11 at night? I was already on the highway with jumper cables. Didn't think about it much. Just seemed like what you did for people you cared about. My job as a forensic accountant made me good at patterns and details, which translated into handling group logistics without anyone asking. Malik was my day one. We clicked immediately over a shared appreciation for Madvillain and the fact that neither of us could stand people who performed sincerity. He had this way of reading a room in 3 seconds and knowing exactly who was full of it, which made him dangerous in the best way. He worked in IT security, which meant he got paid to think like a criminal and then lock the doors they'd use. Carter was the golden boy who looked good in group photos and said all the right things at the right volume. The kind of guy who'd buy the first round, then conveniently forget his wallet for round 2. He'd landed in pharmaceutical sales, which meant expense account and 0 shame. Zara was the backbone. Organized, principled, kept receipts on everything. She remembered dates, details, who said what and when. She worked in project management for a hospital system, which required extreme organization and the ability to tell doctors they were wrong without getting fired. Bex was chaos in human form. Loud, funny, accidentally honest to the point of being painful. She'd say exactly what everyone was thinking, then look genuinely shocked when people reacted. She worked as a veterinary tech, which made sense because only animals couldn't judge her for her lack of filter. And then there was Sienna. I caught feelings for her sophomore year. Not the dramatic rom-com kind where violins play and everything goes slow motion. Just the slow build of noticing she was always the person I wanted to tell things to first. When something good happened, when something annoyed me, when I saw something funny, she was the first person in my head. That's how I knew it was real. Malik knew. He was the only one who knew, and he kept that information locked down like classified intel. "You gonna tell her?" he asked me once. Junior year, after watching me spend 2 hours helping Sienna study for a biology exam she definitely failed anyway. Eventually, when the timing's right, the timing's never right, bro. You make the timing right. But I didn't. I kept waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect setup, the perfect circumstances. And Sienna kept calling me her best friend, her rock, her person. Never in the way I wanted, but enough to keep me hoping. Senior year, things shifted. Carter and Zara got together during finals week. Made this big confession in front of all of us at Bex's apartment, all nervous and sweet like they were the first people to ever fall in love. We all cheered, opened cheap champagne that tasted like regret, made toasts. It was genuinely good energy. They looked happy. Zara was always so controlled, and Carter was so smooth, it seemed like a solid match. 2 months later, Malik and Bex happened. Nobody saw it coming, including them. Malik was calm and steady as a metronome. Bex was walking entropy. But somehow it worked. They balanced each other out like algebra. She made him laugh. He kept her from accidentally starting international incidents with her lack of verbal filter. That left me and Sienna as the only single people in the group. I thought maybe this was it. The universe lining things up, clearing the board, making space for what I'd been waiting for since sophomore year. I was wrong. Spectacularly wrong. It happened at Carter's place during a regular Friday hangout about 6 months post-graduation. We were celebrating him landing some corporate sales job that definitely involved making doctors uncomfortable, nothing major, just an excuse to drink and play cards against humanity. Carter and Zara were being coupley on the couch, doing that thing where they shared one blanket even though it was 73 degrees inside. Malik and Bex were in their 3rd consecutive argument about whether Die Hard counted as a Christmas movie, which apparently couldn't be resolved by human logic or Google. I'd decided tonight was the night. Been psyching myself up all week. I was gonna pull Sienna aside during a natural lull, tell her I'd been into her for a while, see what happened. Worst case, she'd say no and we'd move past it. Best case, I'd been reading the signals right this whole time, and she felt the same way. Then Zara said something about how cute it was that everyone was pairing off, like we were animals on Noah's Ark, and Sienna laughed. That specific laugh she did when she was about to say something she thought was profound. That's sweet, but I'm not doing that with anyone in here. She gestured vaguely at me, her hand moving like she was blessing peasants. You're like brothers to me. All of you. I want us to stay friends forever without making it weird. Brothers. The word landed like a brick through a windshield. Clean. Destructive. Final. Malik's eyes flicked to me for half a second. A silent check-in. You good? I kept my face completely neutral. Took a sip of my drink. Laughed like she'd made a good joke. Fair enough, I said. Smiled. Moved the conversation forward to something about Bex's psychotic cat, and that was it. The door closed. Not cracked, not ajar. Closed, locked, dead-bolted, welded shut, buried under concrete. I didn't argue, didn't ask why, didn't make a scene or deliver a speech or storm out dramatically. I just filed the information away under permanent decisions and adjusted my behavior accordingly. Malik caught me in the kitchen 10 minutes later while I was getting another drink I didn't really want. You good? Yeah. You sure? She made it clear. I'm good. He studied my face for a second, reading between the lines like he always did. All right, let me know if that changes. It wouldn't change. I knew that immediately, with the kind of certainty you feel when you touch a hot stove. Sienna had drawn a line with permanent marker, and I wasn't the kind of guy who spent years trying to convince someone to want me. That wasn't strength, that was desperation. And I wasn't desperate. What I didn't realize in that moment was that pulling back from Sienna meant pulling back from the role I'd been playing in the entire group. I'd been doing everything, handling everything, managing everything, because I thought it mattered to her, because I thought she'd notice, because I thought eventually all that effort would add up to something. Now it didn't matter at all, so I stopped. The changes were small at first, subtle, the kind of thing you wouldn't notice unless you were paying close attention. I didn't vanish. I still showed up, still split the bill, still handed Malik his sparkling water because he doesn't do soda. I just stopped being the group's unpaid operations department. For years, I'd been doing the invisible work, reservations, head counts, reminder texts, rides, the what time are we meeting, followed by what time are you actually leaving? I did it quietly enough that people started thinking it was automatic. After the brother line, the equation changed. Not dramatically, practically. So I corrected the system. The first test was Bex's birthday. 3 weeks after Carter's hangout, we were at our usual bar. Sienna slid into the booth, phone already out. Hey, are we doing anything for Bex's birthday? You usually plan something. I looked up, calm. I can't run point this time. Work's heavy. Sienna blinked. So, nothing's happening? Zara didn't even look at her. She turned to Bex. Dinner or activity? Bex grinned. Dinner, then chaos. Define chaos, Malik asked. A place where somebody might get kicked out for trying to pet the bartender, Bex said. Zara nodded once. I'll book dinner. Malik, you handle a spot after. Bex, send me 2 places. Sienna's eyes came back to me, irritation forming. You're really too busy to help with your friend's birthday? I'm not too busy to show up, I said. I'm too busy to manage it. That line hung there. No apology. Bex's birthday went fine. Zara made the reservation. Malik got us a corner table. Bex was happy because everyone was present, not because anyone performed. And the world didn't end because I didn't touch the logistics. A couple days later, Bex called me because her car wouldn't start outside her clinic. I still drove over, still popped the hood, still got her moving. But when she started panicking about how she'd ruined everyone's night because she'd be late to game night, I handed her my charger and said, Text Malik. He's hosting. You don't need me to translate your schedule. She stared at me for a second, then laughed and texted him. The night went on. That's what I mean. I didn't stop caring. I stopped managing. A week later, Carter floated a weekend trip. Cabin upstate, hot tub, fireplace. Dante, he said, leaning back, you're good at finding places. What do you think? I think you should plan it, I said. He laughed. Come on. I'm serious, I said. If you want it, book it. Send a date and a cost. I'll tell you yes or no. The table went quiet, that quick pause when a pattern breaks and people realize they've been relying on it. Sienna jumped in with that tight edge people get when their convenience is threatened. You've been really distant lately. I've been busy, I said. Too busy for your friends? I shrugged once. Too busy to be the default. That wasn't a tantrum. It was a boundary. Carter booked the cabin anyway and did a bad job. Too far, bad cancellation policy, friendly dogs everywhere. I declined without drama. Can't make it. Nobody argued. They just moved on. Afterward, Malik caught me outside while I was waiting for my rideshare. You're good? He asked. I'm good, I said. He nodded. Good. Keep it clean. Don't let them make you the villain for having limits. And that's when I understood the real shift. I wasn't withdrawing from the group. I was withdrawing from the role. Sienna hated that, because the role wasn't just helpful. It was a channel, a private line that kept me in her orbit, even after she closed the door. So she started pulling on it from another angle. Texts. Not emergencies. Not real problems. Just late-night pings meant to reclaim my attention. Random thoughts at 11 at night. Memes I didn't care about. Complaints about her job like I could rewrite her boss. A photo of a cocktail with the caption, "This tastes like trauma." At first, I answered normally. Habit. Then I saw the pattern. Every message was a test. Do you still come when I call? So I stopped feeding it. Ha. That's rough. Cool. Wild. No follow-up question. No extra oxygen. She noticed fast. Are you mad at me? No. Then why are you being weird? I'm not being weird, I said. I'm being busy. You're never too busy for me. That sentence sat there like a receipt. I'm busy now, I replied. This isn't like you. People change. Not like this. Not this fast. I left that one unread. 2 days later, she showed up at my apartment unannounced. I'd just gotten home from the gym. I was making dinner. Quiet night. The knock was persistent. I opened the door halfway. Sienna stood there with her arms crossed, ready to litigate. We need to talk. About what? About you shutting me out. I didn't step aside. Didn't invite her in. I stayed in the doorway. I'm not shutting you out, I said. I'm adjusting. Adjusting what? You called me your brother, I said, voice level. I believed you. Brothers aren't on-call emotional support. They don't drop everything. They exist separately. Her face flashed, offended. That's not what I meant. It's what you said, I replied. And I'm not arguing with your own words. She took a half step forward. I didn't move, so she stopped. You're being cold, she said. I'm being consistent. We've been friends for years. And you set the terms, I said. I'm just finally following them. She opened her mouth to push harder. I didn't give her room. Have a good night, Sienna. I closed the door, locked it, went back to the stove. What I didn't know was that while she was knocking on my door, she was building a different door somewhere else. Carter started checking in on her. Private messages, late calls, long conversations that weren't about the group. Conversations where you vent, bond, and slowly start treating someone else's relationship like an inconvenience instead of a boundary. Zara noticed before anyone said a word. Not because she was paranoid, because she was accurate. Carter's phone behavior changed. He checked it constantly, tilted the screen away. He left the table to take a quick call, came back with vague work excuses. He said he was helping a friend with something, then vanished for 2 hours. Zara didn't confront him. She watched, documented, waited. She didn't need guesses. She wanted proof. She built a folder on her phone labeled receipts, timestamps, screenshots, a saved location ping, and one Uber receipt to the Marriott downtown on a Tuesday afternoon. Meanwhile, Sienna kept testing me in public. She'd slide into the seat next to me when there were other seats, bring up old inside jokes like currency, touch my arm mid-sentence, casual, familiar, like muscle memory. I moved, changed seats, kept conversations surface level, gave her nothing. Malik noticed, Bex noticed, Zara noticed all of all. Nobody said anything because we were still pretending the group was the same. It wasn't. And then Malik's birthday hit the calendar, and the tension that had been simmering quietly finally found a match. Malik rented out the back room of a bar called the Brass Tap for his birthday. Nothing fancy, just a booth setup, decent speakers, and a pool table that had definitely seen better days. The 6 of us plus maybe 8 other people from his work in the neighborhood. I showed up exactly on time with a bottle of Yamazaki 12. I knew he'd been eyeing it for months but refused to buy it for himself because spending $150 on whiskey felt irresponsible. I handed it to him at the door. His eyes went wide. Bro, happy birthday. You didn't have to do this. I know. He dapped me up, genuine appreciation in his face. You're too good for these people. I know that too. I took a seat at the opposite end of the table from Sienna, next to a guy from Malik's work I'd met once and immediately forgotten. Made small talk about nothing. Watched the room the way Malik did when he wasn't trying to. Carter and Zara sat together, but there was tension radiating off them like heat from asphalt. Carter kept checking his phone under the table with the subtlety of a bank robber. Zara kept watching him do it, with the patience of someone waiting for confirmation. Bex was already 3 drinks deep and in full chaos mode, which meant the night would either be hilarious or a disaster. Probably both. Sienna tried to slide into the seat next to me. I stood up like I just remembered I cared deeply about the music setup. Need help? I asked Malik, already moving. Sienna followed me toward the speaker system like a prosecutor who just spotted their key witness trying to flee. You're really committed to this, huh? She said. Committed to what? Freezing me out. I'm not freezing you out, I said, calm. I'm just not orbiting around you anymore. There's a difference. Her jaw tightened. I don't understand why you're being like this. I didn't raise my voice, didn't get emotional, just gave her the truth. I'm being what you asked for, I said. Like a brother. Non-romantic. Not your person. Not your on-call anything. That's not what Bex's voice cut through the room like a fire alarm. Sienna! Your phone keeps buzzing. You want me to cue your music? Sienna pulled her phone out and handed it over without thinking. Yeah, just play whatever sounds good. Big mistake. Bex took it, started scrolling through Spotify. The screen timed out and locked itself. When it lit back up, a notification flashed across the top. And Bex, being Bex, read it out loud before her brain caught up with her mouth. Last night was risky but worth it. Can't wait to do it again. From Carter? She looked up, genuinely confused, face wide open and naive like she'd just asked what time it was. Then she blurted the worst possible follow-up at full volume. Wait, isn't Zara your girlfriend? The room didn't just go quiet. It went vacuum-sealed silent. Sienna's face drained of all color in about 2 seconds. Her voice went tight, instantly righteous. This is private. You're embarrassing everyone. Zara didn't look at her like a rival. She looked at her like a stranger who'd just cut in line. You embarrassed me first, Zara said, still calm. Carter's face went blank, like his brain had pulled the plug to avoid the shock. It's not what it sounds like. Zara tilted her head slightly. Then what is it? It's nothing, Carter said too fast. We were just talking. About what? Just friend stuff. Venting. Zara reached into her bag, pulled out her phone, and opened something she'd clearly had ready. She slid it across the table to Malik, who was closest. Friend stuff like this? Malik looked down. His expression didn't change, but his jaw tightened like someone had just insulted his mother. He didn't say anything, just slid the phone back. That silence hit harder than yelling. Zara kept her voice flat. I didn't need to go through your phone tonight, Carter. I've been documenting you for weeks. Carter blinked. You what? Screenshots, locations, timestamps, she said, like she was listing groceries. And the hotel charge you couldn't explain. Carter opened his mouth. Nothing came out. Sienna jumped in immediately, trying to steer the whole thing back into a moral lecture. This is humiliating, she snapped. Can we please talk about this privately? Zara turned her eyes to Sienna with clinical precision. You want privacy now? She said. After months of sneaking around with my boyfriend? We weren't sneaking, Sienna said quickly. We were just talking. Just friends talking. Zara didn't flinch. You were just talking at 1 a.m. about how you understand each other, how I don't get him, and how, what if we'd met first? Carter went into the classic escape route like he'd memorized the lines. It didn't mean anything. We were drunk. You're overreacting. Zara didn't raise her voice. She didn't cry. She didn't beg for an explanation like she needed it. She gave him one sentence. You're explaining because you're caught. That landed like a hammer to glass. Then she stood up slowly, reached down, took Carter's apartment key off her keyring, and set it on the table between them like a verdict. She looked at Sienna again. Not angry. Done. I'd been sitting at the far end of the table watching it unfold without moving. No performance, no hero speech, no big protector moment, just observation. And when the room hit that point, where everyone knew what was true and nobody could unknow it, I made my only move. I looked at Zara, not Carter, not Sienna, and said one sentence. You're not alone. Zara met my eyes, nodded once. That was all. Then I stood up, grabbed my jacket, and walked toward the door without slamming anything, without saying anything else. Quiet exit, clean cut. It screamed louder than a fight ever could. Behind me, Malik's voice cut through the air. Dante, hold up. I stopped near the door and turned halfway. Malik was standing now, looking at Carter. Don't follow him. Carter's face went red. Who the hell are you to tell me? I'm the guy whose birthday you just ruined by being a cheating piece of work, Malik said. Calm, dangerous. Sit down. Carter stayed standing. You don't get to sit down. Carter sat. Malik's eyes moved to Sienna. You're not welcome to speak for anyone here. Sienna's voice shot up. I have just as much right to be here as... No, Malik said. You really don't. Bex was still holding Sienna's phone like it might explode in her hands. I didn't mean to start this, she blurted. I was just reading what popped up. I didn't know it was... Zara stepped over and gently took the phone from her. You didn't start anything, Zara said, still steady. You just finished it. Then she faced both of them, Carter and Sienna, like they were defendants at sentencing. Both of you, she said. Out. Carter tried one last time. Can we just talk about this rationally? Out. Sienna's eyes flicked toward me, pleading. Dante, please. I didn't answer. I walked out. Behind me, Malik's voice came one last time, final and cold. If either of you are still here in 30 seconds, I'm getting the manager. I didn't wait to see if they moved. I got in my car and drove home listening to nothing but the engine and the hum of the tires on asphalt. And I felt nothing but relief. I woke up the next morning to 47 unread messages in the group chat. Zara at 6:23. Carter cheated. Sienna participated. They were removed from the event. I'm not discussing it further. Don't bring them around me. Malik at 6:24. That's the standard. Don't ask her to bend it. No one is playing neutral. If you're hanging with either of them privately, don't pretend you support me or Zara. Bex spiraled with apologies. Zara told her to stop. Malik thanked her for the best birthday present he could have asked for. I sent Zara one text. If you need anything, let me know. Thanks, I'm good. Just need space from nonsense. By mid-morning, Sienna was vague posting on Instagram about toxic people twisting situation. 3 mutual friends reached out asking me to be the bigger person and help mediate. I said no to all of them and muted the conversations. My mom called. Sienna's mom had reached out to her, upset that I wouldn't talk to Sienna. She made choices. I'm not available to help her deal with the consequences. Dante, that's so cold. This doesn't sound like you. This is exactly like me. You're just seeing it for the first time. She texted after I hung up. You know, we always thought you and Sienna would end up together. She was always so good at getting you to help her with things. I read that twice. They liked her because I was useful to her. I texted back. That's the problem. I muted her too. The friend group restructured naturally over the next week. Me, Malik, Zara, and Bex. The people who didn't play neutral. The people who understood that loyalty meant something. We started hanging out more intentionally. Smaller dinners, game nights, quieter, healthier energy. Nobody had to walk on eggshells. Nobody had to perform. We just existed. Sienna tried a softer approach. She texted Bex, "Can you just ask Dante to talk to me? I miss him. I miss all of you." Bex screenshot it and sent it to me. I told her to respond. "He's not available." Sienna pushed, "I don't understand why everyone is being so cruel. I made a mistake. People make mistakes." Bex responded, "You called him your brother and then got mad when he treated you like a sister. That's not a mistake. That's entitlement." Sienna stopped texting Bex after that. She tried Zara next. "I know you're mad at me about Carter, but can we keep that separate from the group? I miss everyone. This isn't fair." Zara responded once. "You participated in dismantling my relationship. You don't get to pretend you're a neutral party who just wants everyone to get along. Goodbye." Blocked. Meanwhile, I was moving forward. Picked up a new certification in anti-money laundering. Started going to the gym 6 days a week. Took a solo weekend trip to the Adirondacks. I wasn't posting about it or documenting my glow up. Just living better. And then, 3 months after Malik's birthday, I met Nora. I met Nora at a fraud prevention conference in Chicago. She was presenting on behavioral detection patterns, and I asked a follow-up question about false positives. We ended up talking for 40 minutes about Benford's Law and whether it actually worked in real-world scenarios. She was sharp, funny, didn't try to perform intelligence. We just talked. We grabbed coffee the next morning, then kept in touch. 3 weeks later, we went to a comedy show and talked until the bar closed. It was easy. No games, no mixed signals. Just 2 people figuring out if this was something. 3 weeks after that, I mentioned her to Malik. We were at the gym, spotting each other on bench press. "I'm seeing someone." He racked the bar. "Yeah? What's she like? Normal?" He laughed. "That's the whole review?" "That's the whole review. She's got her own life, her own career. Doesn't need me to be anything other than present. Sounds healthy. Weird, right? Bring her around sometime." I thought about it for a few days, then soft launched it in the group chat. "I'm bringing someone to trivia Thursday, if that's cool." Zara. "Cool with me." Bex. "Oh, who is she? Tell me everything." Malik. "Already know about her. She's solid." Bex. Malik. "You met her first?" Rude. Malik. "Gym. We run into each other at the gym." Bex. "Dante, bring her to brunch first so I can interrogate her." Me. "Absolutely not." Bex. Rude. Thursday came. I showed up at trivia with Nora. "This is Nora. Nora, this is Zara, Bex, and you already know Malik." Nora smiled, shook hands, settled into the booth. No performance, just normal interaction. Bex immediately launched into interrogation. "So what do you do?" "Forensic accounting, same as Dante." "Oh my god, you're both nerds." "Extremely." "What's the worst financial crime you've investigated?" "Can't talk about active cases, but I once found $4 million someone had hidden in 12 fake LLCs under their dead mother's name." Bex's eyes went wide. "That's insane." She and Bex bonded over true crime podcasts that dragged cases out for 17 episodes. She and Zara talked about database security, At one point, when Bex and Malik were arguing about trivia rules, Nora turned to Zara quietly and said, "If you ever need a +1 for anything so you don't have to go solo, I'm in." Zara nodded once, small smile. Malik respected her because she was calm and didn't try to be someone she wasn't. By the end of the night, we'd won trivia, and Bex was texting me privately. "I love her. Don't screw this up." Nora started getting invited to things organically. Game nights, brunches, random hangs. Nobody made a big announcement about it. She just became part of the rotation. And then, inevitably, Sienna found out. Sienna heard about Nora through a mutual friend and started showing up places she knew we'd be. First time was at a brewery. We were just sitting outside having low-key conversation. Sienna walked up with a bright plastic smile. "Dante, oh my God, I didn't know you'd be here." The brewery had 200 people in it. She definitely knew. "Hey," she looked at Nora like an obstacle. "And you are?" Nora smiled. "Nora, nice to meet you. I'm Sienna, Dante's best friend. We go way back. College." I corrected her immediately. "We're not close." Sienna's smile cracked. "That's harsh." "It's accurate." She tried to sit. Malik came back from inside and blocked the empty chair with his body. "We're good, actually." She stood there for 5 long seconds, her face cycling through confusion and anger. Then she left, but not quietly. "This is insane. You're all acting like I committed a crime." Bex muttered just loud enough for our table. "You did, though." After Sienna was out of earshot, Nora looked at me. "She seems fun." "She's not," I gathered. "Sorry about that." "Don't be. I've dated enough to know when someone's territorial about something they don't actually want." Malik raised his glass. "I like her." 2 weeks later, Sienna sent Nora a direct message, warning her that I get really attached really fast and then pull away when things get complicated. Nora screenshot it and showed me immediately. "Your ex-best friend is something else. Block her." Already done. A week later, we were all at Malik's apartment for game night. Cards, drinks, the kind of low-energy hang where you don't have to perform. We were in the middle of explaining the rules of codenames to Nora when there was a knock at the door. Malik got up to answer it, looked through the peephole, turned back to us. "It's Sienna." I stayed on the couch, didn't move, didn't react. Malik opened the door halfway, stood in the frame, blocking entry. "Not tonight." Sienna's voice came from the hallway. "I just want to talk. 5 minutes, please. Not tonight." "You can't just keep me out. These are my friends too." "Were, past tense. This is ridiculous. You can't do this." Malik's voice stayed calm, level, final. "Watch me." He closed the door, locked it, came back to the couch. "She's still out there?" Bex asked. Malik glanced at his phone, checking the hallway camera. "Walking away now." We went back to the game like nothing had happened. Nora looked at me. "That happen a lot?" "Not anymore." The final collision happened at trivia night, 3 months into my relationship with Nora. We were at our usual spot, mid-game, actually winning for one. Nora was on a roll with 90s music questions. Bex was carrying us on pop culture. Malik had sports locked. Zara had history and science. Sienna walked in. She spotted us immediately from across the bar and walked straight over like she'd been summoned. "So you replaced me." I didn't look up from the answer sheet. "You're confused. You're not in that position." "What position?" "Best friend?" "Any position." Her voice went up, loud enough that people at nearby tables started looking. "How can you just erase years like that?" I finally looked at her. Calm, flat, no emotion. "You called me your brother. I believed you. You don't get to rewrite it because you don't like the consequences. I didn't mean it like that. You meant it exactly like that." She turned to Nora, trying to pull her into the drama. "You have no idea what you're getting into with him. He's..." Malik stood up. "That's enough. You can't tell me." "I can, and I am. Leave." Zara's voice cut through, cold and factual. "Stop making everything about you. You cheated with Carter. You participated in betraying me. You lost access to this group. That's cause and effect, actions and consequences." Bex, bless her beautiful chaos heart, added the final blow. "You called him your brother. Why are you acting like his ex-girlfriend now?" Sienna's face went red. She looked around the table, realizing nobody was backing her up. Nobody was playing neutral. Nobody was giving her an inch of ground. "You're all toxic. All of you." I went back to the trivia sheet. "Cool. We're still not hanging out with you." She stood there for another few seconds, waiting for someone to break, to feel bad, to apologize. Nobody did. She left. Actually left? The bar felt lighter immediately. Nora looked at me. "That was more fun than the trivia." "Welcome to the group." Bex raised her glass. "To Nora, for not being insane." We all clinked glasses and went back to trying to remember who won the 1997 World Series. A week later, my phone buzzed with a notification from a number I didn't recognize. I almost deleted it without reading. but something made me open it. It was Sienna. She'd gotten a new number. The message was long, really long. The kind someone writes and rewrites 17 times, trying to find the perfect combination of words that will undo months of consequences. Dante, I finally understand. I see what I lost. I see what I did wrong. You weren't just my friend, you were my person, and I took that for granted. I took you for granted. I was scared of what we could be, because it was so real, so solid. The thing with Carter was a mistake. A horrible mistake. I was looking for validation in all the wrong places, because I was too scared to admit I had feelings for you. Real feeling. I've been in love with you for years, and I was too stupid and scared to see it. Please, can we just talk? Just coffee. Just 5 minutes. I miss you. I miss us. I miss my best friend. I miss the person who made me feel safe. Please. I read it twice. Felt nothing. No satisfaction, no validation, no temptation. Just a distant recognition that this was exactly what I would have wanted to hear 2 years ago. 1 year ago. Even 6 months ago. But now it was just noise. I left it on read. Not out of spite. Not out of revenge. Just because I was sitting on my couch with Nora, watching Malik and Bex argue about whether the thing was better than Alien, while Zara pulled up Rotten Tomatoes to settle it with data. I was exactly where I wanted to be. And Sienna wasn't part of that anymore. My phone buzzed again an hour later. Same number. Did you see my message? I blocked the number without responding, Nora noticed. Her again? Yeah. You okay? I'm great. And I was. The friend group took a photo that night. Malik set up his phone on the coffee table, started the timer, and we all crowded onto the couch. Zara in the middle, flanked by Malik and Bex. Me on the end with Nora tucked under my arm. We smiled. Genuinely. The photo came out perfect. I posted it to Instagram with no caption. The view appeared at the top within 2 minutes. I didn't care. The chapter was closed. She'd liked access, not me. She'd liked convenience, not connection. She'd liked the idea of having someone in her corner without actually valuing the person standing there. And I'd finally figured out the difference. The group chat buzzed as we were all heading home. Bex. That was fun. We should do this every week. Zara. I'm in. Malik. Same. Dante, you cooking next time? Me. I don't cook. Malik. You literally made us dinner last month. Me. That was ramen with an egg. Nora. I'll cook. You all just have to eat vegetarian. Bex. Wait. No. No vegetables. Malik. Bex. Vegetables don't bite back. Bex. They might. Zara. This is why you work with animals. The conversation devolved into chaos about whether a tomato was a fruit or vegetable. I put my phone down and smiled. You sure you want in on this? Are you kidding? This is the most functional friend group I've ever seen. The bar must be low. Extremely. But you're all good people. Even Bex? Especially Bex. I drove home with the windows down even though it was 50 degrees outside. The radio played something I didn't recognize, but sounded good anyway. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I muted notifications without looking, because I'd finally learned something that took me way too long to figure out. The people who matter will make space for you in their life without you having to beg for it. And the people who don't matter will spend years trying to convince you they do. Sienna had made her choice when she called me her brother. I just finally accepted it. And now I was free. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel and help us bring you more and better stories. Thanks.